Hit it. Boom. All right.
Right.
Welcome back to Judging Bouncy Balls, episode number 30. We hit the big 3-0. Sorry about all the hiccups and issues. We had the internet literally fall and go out in my house right before we were just about to hit go live. So we are back on. We're ready to roll. Toby, how the hell are you?
Oh, great, man. 30 is a big number. I mean, it seems to get bigger every week. I don't know if that's just a trend. But I remember I reached out to one of the book that I read. Well, I didn't read the book. I bought the book. My wife read the book. But recruiting it, she said we need 100 episodes. So I'm going to reach back out and be like, 30's pretty big number. Like, you can't expect 100.
Unless you're talking about a woman's age. Otherwise, then it's not that big of a number.
Right. Well, 100's a lot. Maybe what we should do is just increment 10-minute shows. 10-minute shows.
There you go. Just like
right.
and now, boom, 100 episodes. Done.
Or we just say, this is our 100th episode, and then I send it to her. I'm like, hey, we made 100. Woo!
The other 50 were, we took them off the archive.
Archive, right? They went in the Smithsonian or something, because that's where they should be. Yeah, exactly. So big week in the northeast part of the world over here.
Yes.
After our last broadcast, we went over and we played regional finals. No, first round of sectionals against East De Pere. Heavily favored East De Pere, and we took them. Craziest game that I've ever been a part of. It was 1-0 East De Pere at halftime, and 7 goals in the second half. It was crazy. We were up. They scored. We scored 2, so we're up 2-1. They scored 3 to go up 4-2. And then their fourth one was a takedown in the box. At first, I yelled that it wasn't, but after review, I'll give them a little bit of credit. From behind, it was not. It was not a scoring play, as they say. Like, she was not attempting to shoot. So I don't know what that means. Somebody told me that. And then we got one in, and then they had a handball in a corner with like 3 minutes to go. Mallory Herbert put it in the back of the net, and we were tied. Back to penalty. Back to overtime again, just like that the Kimberly game, and go 2 10-minute halves, and then we go to the shootout. And I'm telling you, Bayport's got ice in their veins. We had one. We put everything on frame. Their goalie blocked one of ours. I think it was our 4th shot.
Okay.
But I think we were up by 2 at that point, so all we had to do was make our 5th one. There was some rumors from my daughter that my daughter might have been the 6th kicker.
Ooh.
So we didn't get there, which was okay. And then Bayport celebrated. I'm doing a lot of celebrating. I'm gonna be honest with you, more than I should. So celebrated that.
What concert did you go to this week?
Oh, right. Well, their Flo Rida was gone, so
okay.
I thought they'd drive around a little bit, right? I mean, there's no need to return that bus, but they went back to school. And then we take off Saturday for Wisconsin Rapids. By the way, have you ever been to their high school football stadium?
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
That scoreboard with the Videotron, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
somebody's doing something right in Rapids. That's all I'm saying. I don't know where it's coming from. Somebody's doing something right.
It's all that Sand Valley money.
I think you're right. So we played Eau Claire Memorial. It was 0-0 at halftime, but we never felt like we were in trouble. And then it started 1 goal, 2 goal, 3 goal, and it was over. You come off the high of 2 overtime goals with penalty kicks and the intensity, and then when you win 3-0, you're kind of like, okay, that was awesome, right? I mean, it was a big game to go to state. Like, everything was on the line, but our 4th playoff game was probably one of our easier games because our regional was so tough. So we drove back to Green Bay. We celebrated. I kept celebrating. I'll be honest. It was probably more than most of the team, but it's good to see the team. You know, the parents are really coming together. We were doing cheers.
Wow.
My wife was leading cheers. We had a couple of dads leading cheers.
Okay.
We had one dad. So the goalie got taken out on a play, and it was a rough play, we'll call. And first thing I said was, "That's a yellow card, right? Because you don't want to see anybody get a red card day before state." And there was a young lad on our side that yelled "flop," and I heard it, but I'm like, "You're young, right?" And one of their dads stood up and yelled, "Did somebody yell flop?" And I'm like, "Easy, Gunner, right? We agree with you. We agree with the call." And then we did pick on him a little bit because he had his sleeves up, showing off the guns. But he calmed down pretty quick.
You got to be careful not to pick on people.
I find it funny, but I'll be honest.
Some
I
people
also am
don't.
I'm very good at taking it. I can take it, so I feel because of that I can give it. My wife says my sarcasm overruns everything and I cross every line that's out there. So I'm trying to not. I'm trying to play nice.
I should probably do that too.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to come to really not expect this next story, and you will explain this story. But I was very surprised to hear it today, and I got to be honest. When I left the parking lot after talking to you, I was proud of you. I was real
Oh, were
proud.
you? I
Yeah.
don't know if there was a lot of people proud of me.
Well, I'm going to be the only one then. Why
All
don't
right.
you indulge our listeners?
So, all right. So I'm at my daughter's game last night. My younger daughter, the U12 daughter, and we play a rival community, and we know the coach that's on the team. He's very animated. That's a good word for it, right? On the sideline, he likes to jump around when they score. He screams and he's like flexing and like bouncing around, dancing. Last night, for an example, he did a side straddle hop with pumping his fists after they scored. Like, so he's very animated. Now, all that being said, he's a very good coach. Like, I really believe he's a very good coach. Like, his girls are disciplined. They usually play pretty well. He's a good coach. Okay, so I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but when we know we're playing him, I do get a little excited because his antics are kind of amusing. They are like they're kind of fun. So, anyways, I was all excited. I'm sitting with my son. We're getting kind of excited, and he starts getting into it. Like the first 10 minutes, he didn't do anything. He just stood there, like quiet. And I'm like, "Is this a new guy? Like, what happened? Where did the old guy go?" And then they scored, and it like started ramping up. And we started poking a little fun because, like I said, after the first goal, he started side hopping and bouncing like this and doing, like he was up and down and he's just pacing back and forth. So I said to my son, I'm like, it's like a caged animal. Like if you see a tiger at the zoo, they just sit and pace back and forth. Like they're wound up, right? Well, I didn't realize that his wife and his daughter, who's like 20, are sitting like 10 feet to the left or to the right. And so we're kind of going around just like, just kind of playfully joking around. They didn't think it was as playful as we did, but I didn't know. And I looked over and they're like just giving me the hairy eyeball. And I'm like, man, these people are like really staring us down. Well, the game ends. They beat us 4-3, 3-2, something like that. I don't know, whatever it was. And he walks over and all of a sudden I see him walk and talk to those, his wife and his kid. And I'm like, oh, that's probably not good. So then I start to leave, and he walks right up to me, and he's like, "You got a problem with my coaching?" And I'm like, "No, I like your coaching's fine." Like I said, he's like, "Well, my wife said you're talking about me," and I'm like, "Dude," I said, "I'm not talking. I wasn't trying to be rude. I just said you get kind of animated on the sidelines. We find it amusing." I said that's what I was commenting on and talking about. And then she lays into me and she's like, "You are disrespectful. I can't believe you're doing this in front of your kids. You're setting a poor example." I'm like, I just paused and I'm like, And she's like, don't talk to me. She even gave me the hand. Like, I got the hand. So I'm like, ma'am, I said, I understand that I may have offended you. I said, I didn't mean it in any disrespect. I just enjoy like your husband's antics. Like he gets riled up. She didn't really like that. She just kind of walked away. And I even told him, I said, listen, I mean, no disrespect. I respect you. I find I told him, I said, I find your antics, like you get really animated. It's kind of funny. And I said, I didn't mean to be offensive. I said, if I did, I apologize. I shook his hand and I walked. I'm like, I'm getting out of here. Because I honestly, I talked to my son about it. And I'm like, I think if I would have gone like, screw you, I think it would have got physical. Because he kind of came at me like, we're going to do this. I'm like, dude, I truly feel bad. I did not mean to like, I mean, I was kind of poking fun at him, but I didn't mean to like offend it, dude. He's kind of funny.
You should have been like, I find it all amusing, except for the hop skip. Be like, that is bad. That you can take and shove. The rest of it is good.
But anyways, the parents found me, and the other parents of our team were like, did you get yelled at? And I'm like, yeah, I got yelled at, apparently. And they're like, I would have said something to him. I'm like, no, I'm not starting to fight with this guy. He seems like a decent enough guy. Like, I got no ill will towards him. I just find him funny.
Where were these parents that were backing you up from the parking lot? Like,
dude, they were in their car, man. They were gone.
Right.
But I'll say this, in self-defense of him, if you've ever seen me on the sidelines, and that's a sight to behold, they used to tease me because on the football sideline, I do ridiculous stuff. I mean, I'm the guy like him, running up and down, pumping my fist, jumping around, acting stupid. So I've been made fun of for the same thing, and I don't mean it as a way to say like he's a bad guy. He's humorous. Like he gets pumped up, he's animated, gets into the game, and he probably loses his brain a little bit. So it's like, I get it. That's me when I'm on the sideline, but doesn't mean I can't poke a little fun at you. I mean, come on.
He could pound sand. Nobody yells at you, buddy. I got your back. I mean, I'm 130 miles away, but I got it.
Right. So anyways, if you're watching this, sir, I apologize. I did not mean to offend you, but
hey,
wife and kid not very happy with me.
Yeah. Wow. You might want to cover up the old.
Yeah. I don't know who those people are. Horrible.
Right. Nacho ice cream. That sounds horrible.
Well, the worst part about it is he's probably going to be at the PCYS tournament this weekend, and I'm like, God bless it. I don't want to have a dude out there like seething at me, like just staring me down the whole time. I didn't mean to be, but apparently I made the rivalry a little bit better with Rapids.
That sometimes that's all that matters. And maybe when you see him giving the old hey, like let's go.
One of the jokes that one of the other parents said that I thought was really funny. They said, if we had him do that move in parachute pants, he'd be in the MC Hammer video. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the wife might have heard that one, didn't think it was as funny. So I don't know.
Well, she needs to lighten up. I mean, we live in a world that more people need to lighten up. Because it could have been worse, right? I mean, you could have laid it on.
Dude, we didn't say anything really derogatory. We weren't like swearing at him or anything. We just thought he was funny. Like, whatever. I don't know. So anyways, sorry I was.
And I bet your son's not going to grow up to go to prison either. So that's you're fine there.
You never know, I guess. Yeah, fingers crossed. All right. So anyways, enough about that. That's so if you're watching this, I apologize.
Yeah, no, you know what? It makes for interesting 11-year-old soccer games.
Yeah.
But,
this is true.
Yeah. But otherwise, the week, so I didn't know. So I'll be dead honest. Our goal, when we took a loss to Appleton East, we took this and that. Our goal wasn't state. Our goal was to be competitive, I think, at regional. At least that was my take. But I never knew this about state. So everybody's excited. All I am doing is Venmoing people money.
Hey, it's exciting.
Shirts.
The rest? Oh, sorry. You meant
it's from
other things.
Obite Rastio. But we got signed for the front yard, which is awesome. The whole family wanted shirts, which is really cool. By the way, I wish we could get Steph Hauser on. All of a sudden, $7 WIA is now $11 WIA.
Oof.
It's like,
Ouch.
what are we doing? And
Inflation's real.
like, this is why we have to double back with her, because the only reason the De Pere Bayport game was televised is because they paid for it.
Okay.
You have to pay for the rights. So the sectional final game was not televised or streamed for all you hipsters. So I'm assuming the two games that are left will be televised. I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
But
For a
I
cost.
found that odd. No, I think Channel 13 does it, or C whatever channel the Live Tour was on. I think they
really?
televise at least the championship game for sure, and I'm hoping the semis. So we are loaded up for Bear, I think, with cowbells. They said no vuvuzelas, right? Like, don't tell me what I can't do.
Come on.
Never ends well. The Joe Shirt. But man, is it fun? So 7:45. If anybody's out there at Bayport High School, pending any fire calls, there will be a fire truck, which I never had a fire truck take me anywhere, to lead the team out of Swamico and Howard down to Milwaukee, the good land. So
Okay.
we will be doing all that, and we're excited. 11 o'clock. Says I'm having an issue here.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, not really. I don't know. We'll just close it out here. Oh, jeez. But so now we're still going. So yeah, 11 o'clock, Muskego. I heard Muskego is a very talented team. I'm not going to trash talk them because there's a very good chance they're watching. So yeah, heard they're great, really nice kids. Parents are great. Yeah, they're not listening. I don't give two butts about Muskego. Making all pound sand. Here we come. Pirates. Come to Pirates.
They're the number one seed, right?
They are. They are. But that's
Divine
just a number. Yeah. Two good teams. You know what's different? We're Pirates.
It's true.
That's really what I came up with. Yeah. So
we're
excited.
You do ransack things.
Yeah, we pillage. I mean, I left a beer can on the bar the other night. Like, this is what pirates do. Arr, and then I grabbed it and put it on the bar because I don't want to be a jerk.
Wow.
But
that's very good of you.
So we're excited. We're excited. And after our victory on Friday, we play Saturday at 4:30 in the finals.
Nice.
Positivity.
That's awesome. Good luck.
And thank you. And then Saturday is high school season's over. Sunday, Macy will start her club season, which has already kind of started this week. And then we leave for St. Louis on Thursday. I should put in for some days off because I'm going to need them.
You should ask your boss.
Yeah, Friday. Thursday I'll work. I'm going to work. I'm a worker. It's what I do. So I'll probably work my way down to St. Louis. We play at 2:00 on Friday, which is excellent. So for those out there, if you want to hear, now that you've joined us for podcasts, we're back live broadcasting games. It's quite joyful. So we'll put it on our YouTube page, correct? And Facebook, maybe?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think we can only do one from a mobile device. I don't think we can do both.
We might be going Facebook then because everybody can watch Facebook. Like my parents. They don't have YouTube.
There you go.
But
we might have to just do the Facebook. That's fine.
So or whatever you do on the Facebook, and then you'll get notifications when we do go live because we play Topeka, Kansas. We play Galaxy from Illinois and the Tigers from Michigan. So our road is a difficult road, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get the band back together the club style.
For sure, yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to club. It's been a little while for us for sports, so yeah, let's do the club thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So before we get to our topic, how's the ice cream business? I mean,
Oh,
you
it's
got to
good.
get your free pub.
Hey, it's the only sponsor of the show right now. No, it's good. Yeah, we had 2 corporate events this week, which were great, and then we got the tournament this weekend. So that's going to be. We'll see how we handle our first really big event. Yeah, it's been a good time, but yeah, man, people love the ice cream nachos. Super popular.
Fired
They're
up. I
loving
got to
it.
get over for some nachos. Let's see the hat.
Oh, remember we're hiding it.
Yeah, but not anymore. So
Just
that
waiting for it to
merch is
come.
available, correct? You can get merch.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up on the website, but it's I put one of them up. I got to get the other ones up. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it through the. I think what I'm gonna do on the website is I'm gonna figure out a way that people can, if they want to buy it online, it'll just ship right to their house. And then the stuff that we have in hand will just sell out of the truck. So I got to get that worked out. But yeah, it's gonna be available here shortly. So
Well, bring some down to St. Louis.
all right, we'll
There's
do.
some suckers down there that want to buy it, including me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so it's been good. But we'll see if we can hit it and not melt under the pressure. You get that? Melt. All right. So yeah, be here all night. So let's talk about some fun stuff. Hey, we if you've been following the Twitter page this week, we posted an article about Baby Gronk. I did not know about Baby Gronk. Apparently, Toby, you know about Baby Gronk. What do you know about Baby Gronk?
Well, I don't know anything about the kid's ability or playing, but he's becoming an internet sensation. I think his dad is doing the hype train, and it's working. Like the kid is, how old is he? 8, 9, maybe 10?
Yeah, I think right now, I think he's 10. Yeah.
10. So his dad is, they've nicknamed him the Baby Gronk, and he's catching touchdowns, and he's kind of becoming this internet sensation. And it's a great hype train. I mean, his dad's doing a hell of a job. He's getting all these interviews, but at the end of the day, you're literally exploiting a 10-year-old kid in football that will probably grow up to play JV football. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, then he'll make his varsity year, then he might never play again because the chances of playing big time football are very slim. And
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
as you see, a lot
Go
of
ahead.
people start to resent you and him. Um, I do follow a couple podcasts, and one of them is the JV show, which is the. If you ever seen um, Last Chance U,
Yeah.
he coached a team out of Indy. Every other word is the F bomb, so we probably won't have him on. I was going to reach out, but then I thought about it. I'm like, he probably would be excited to come on, and I'm like, I don't think that's good because we don't have a beep button.
Yes, that is true.
But I have not listened to. He was going to have Baby Gronk on and kind of tear into his dad a little bit. He said so. I'm interested to see that how that played out. But I was trying to think of some other kids like that kind of got overhyped, and then the biggest one I came to mind was Michelle Wie, right, the golfer
Hmm.
whose parents said we're not going to play the LPGA, we're going to play the PGA, and then she never won a thing. Made
Yeah.
some money, but at 16, I think she was done playing golf at 17. So it doesn't really work out.
Yeah, and to cycle back to Gronk here, one of the things I read through. Here's some of the highlights. So apparently, right now at his age, he's a pretty decent player. Right, he might be one of those kids that's a little bit bigger than everybody else. Apparently, he plays up 3 age groups, so that's and he's doing pretty well. But really, what struck me about this is the dad says all the right things for the most part. I mean, he says it's not about him. He says that it's about his son. He says he's taken all the money that this kid's making because apparently, right now, as of a few days ago of this article being written, he is making well over $100,000 a year, and he's living in this NIL world well before he's even in high school, right? So he's bringing in money from endorsements. He's going people think he's being recruited by a lot of these big schools, but he's actually not being recruited. What they're doing is they're paying to go to, like, let's say Ohio State has a football camp. They pay for the football camp, and as part of the football camp, because when he shows up on campus, they know that he's got a big following. They'll like give him a big special tour. have him meet some coaches, have him meet people, because he's got 315,000 followers on social media, right? So the schools are kind of looking at it like, hey, he's coming into campus. We're going to capitalize on his buzz to be able to promote us, and we're going to kind of do a mutual thing. So when he went to LSU, the whole football team shows up. Olivia Dunn, which is the big NIL girl that everybody's all obsessed about right now, the gymnast from LSU, she shows up, and so they're kind of feeding off each other, right? So everybody kind of wants to get clicks off of each other, and so that's kind of what's generating him getting some endorsement deals, for him being able to get connected. And so because of this, the dad apparently knows some people as well, some NFL people. And it's just kind of this thing that's cycling off. So what the dad is saying, and I actually kind of can understand what he's saying here. He said, that my son may never play football at a high level, to your point, right? It's hard to do. He may never get there. So he's like, I want him to have some money in endorsements so that if it doesn't work out his dream to play in the NFL, he's still doing pretty well, right? Okay, so that's fair. But on the flip side, this thing just reeks of his dad trying to just take advantage of him. I give you a couple of quotes from here. Phrase. He pretty much says, before my son was even born, I had a plan for him. Like, right. How crazy is that? Like, before you even had a child, you knew that you were going to do this, that you were going to build, you were going to kind of do this social media thing. Right there, that just tells me that this isn't about the kid. And then he's also goes on to say here, just to quote him here, he says, he really puts in a lot of work. It's not just for the content. We put in 5 or 6 days of training a week. He diets, he eats clean foods, salmon and brown rice. He's in a routine. He's a real athlete. He's not a normal kid. Normal kids are emotional. They put their head down when they make mistakes, talk back to the coaches, they make noises, but he doesn't do that. He's been trained and programmed since he was 6 years old. Like that last line, he's been trained and programmed. So this is a classic case of a dad basically kid from the get-go, from the jump, that he's going to have him be whatever it is he wants this kid to be. So this is almost exactly, or this is everything that we would talk about is wrong with youth sports, right? You want a kid to play because they love the game, because they're really into it. That's great. And maybe his kid does, but it sure reeks of the dad is just trying to live out his dream. And his dad even said in this article, he's like, yeah, he tore his ACL and he could never, he never got past high school. It's like, okay, well, it sounds like this dad is really trying to live through his kid, which is kind of disgusting, honestly, in my opinion. But
well, and that's exactly it. Now I get the fact. Okay, your son is making money, but I just don't see the outcome of this going any like that being that great, because the kid is being nothing but pawed at, and you turn into kind of that everybody owes me type attitude. And I guarantee in a year, LSU wants nothing to do with him. Right now, they're using him, and they're using each other, right? So I don't blame either party, but I think you're right. I think the dad is just trying to capitalize on something here that could really turn out. And that money's not it. So let me ask you this: can the kid play high school ball if he's taking money?
I see. That's what I was thinking about. It all depends on how it's done, right? So the dad says that he's getting $100,000 a year ish right now, and he's putting all that money into an account for him. So if the money is being paid to in the dad's name and he's just putting it in an account for his son, he's probably fine, honestly.
Yeah.
But if it's being in his name, I don't know if this kid has eligibility left, honestly. I'm not aware of any high school athletes that can take NIL money in high school. But maybe there's
right now it's no. I'm almost positive there's nothing at the high school level. So, I mean, we didn't even let Macy practice this week because there was. Now I did find out that it was not true, but it wasn't worth overstepping the W. And I called you on that, right? The WIA versus club, and it wasn't worth getting red flagged. And all of a sudden it's a forfeiture. Now it's not the case. You can practice, you can try out, but the games are the sticky points. You have to get permission. 2 games a year you can play it. But I just don't. I mean, it sounds like the dad's all in on baby Gronk to make as much money as he can.
Pretty much.
At the end of it, I mean, man, if he ends up with a couple $100,000, he puts in this for the kid might see $5. The dad's probably got a new Corvette, and I mean, if the dad got it this far being this way, there's no way he's like, oh, I didn't touch the money. It's, he Macaulay Culkin's this thing.
Yeah, he says that he's not touched a penny of it, that he's put it all away for his kid. But I tell you what, there's some of this, like in just doing some research on this, he's been, one of the things that I found was that almost anybody that has any clout said that he's been sliding into their DMs. If you don't know what that means, he's been instant messaging them like on Twitter or on Instagram, trying to get in touch with people. Like anybody that has any influence, he's been, if you know who Paige Sporonic was, that's one of the ones that jumped up. She's a big social media influencer in the golfing world, but she said that he's been sliding into her DMs, and generally people that slide into her DMs are not looking necessarily for for an interview. They're looking for other things. So it's just one of those that I just think that I think he's really trying to capitalize on his son, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong in that he says that the world has changed in the last 5 years, and that you can become something outside of the sports world. You can use the sports world, and he even says this. He said, if I can build up my son to be really influential from a influencer standpoint on social media, he's like, it can create an opportunity for him in the sports world. And he goes on to talk about how certain people get into D1 schools by somebody that they know, or if he even uses by him having a big influence when he steps foot on a campus. The campus, or the schools are like, hey, we want to interview you, we want to do this. They roll up the VIP treatment because they know they're going to show up on his feed, and if they show up on his feed, it's good for them. And so he kind of is creating opportunities for himself. So at some level, I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. I mean, we've created this world where you're incentivized to do these types of things because it's going to benefit you.
Yeah, it's an easy. I mean, if you can figure out the influencer game, I mean, let's look at the money they're making. I mean, it's disgusting money that we'd all take. You got to be willing to grind, and they're willing to. I mean, he's been doing this for the last 6 months, so they must kind of let school go by the wayside. I don't know, that.
He says he's a straight A student.
Well, it's seventh grade. I mean, I think I was a straight A. There were
Probably
a lot of
fifth grade.
straight A threes. So
Fifth grade was great.
fifth grade, yeah. Oh, intense.
Very
But yeah,
intense.
I don't know. I just don't know if it's worth exploiting your kids. It kind of goes back to when we talked about becoming a professional.
Right.
Are you willing to let your 15-year-old go play professionally, bypass the rest of life? I still am kind of would rather have her live life and go through the steps of when we're seeing it now, right? I mean, we're more than probably your daughter just by this little run we're on, but the excitement that you see from the community, and I don't know why you'd want to bypass that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's always the risk you run, especially when you go down that professional world, is that fame and notoriety can really change a kid. And your brain is not. I mean, what do they say? Male brain doesn't develop till they're like 25, and females like 22 or something like that. I mean, it's it. And I could be way off on those dates, but I know it's later in life, right? But it's one of those things that do you really want to run the risk of having your child get negatively impacted just for a few bucks, right? And listen, 100,000 is a lot of money, but there's a lot of life. He even says at one point, he's like, I'm 35, I've lived my life. I'm like, 35? Like, you're just getting started, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't understand this idea that you don't have to be a millionaire when you're 18. Like, he said he wants his son to graduate high school as a millionaire. Okay, well, that could be good. Gives him security, gives him some options, but could be really bad too. You see a lot of these kids that have a lot of money when they're really young, they become not so great people. And I think there's something to be said about him doing it himself and earning it for himself rather than dad just doing it for him. And that's assuming he gives it all to his son and doesn't use it for himself.
Well, and let's be honest, the kid at that age, he's not going to tell his dad no. I mean, he's traveling all over the country being taught at
No.
one of these universities. But when the kid hits 16, 17, he wants to hang out with his buddies all of a sudden, whose dream is this? It sounds like it's the dad's.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I guess the other thing, I told this to Sarah the other day because we were talking about some other items, but the reality of it is, as parents, we hold a lot of control over our kids. We really do. You think about it, when you have a child at a very young age, they have pristine. I heard a comedian talk about this. They basically have pristine little minds, little hard drives, and you can literally download the craziest ideas and beliefs and thoughts onto these kids, and they'll believe you, right? Because they don't know any better. They are little sponges that absorb everything you tell them. And if you tell them really good stuff, you could create a really good kid. And if you tell them really horrible things, you could create a monster, right? So this idea that that this is what this kid wants to do, how do we know? He's right. If he's been working on this kid since he was a little child, the kid may not know any different. He's literally programmed to think a certain way.
Exactly, and it never ends. Like he doesn't, that's like Todd Marinovich, right? His dad groomed him to be a quarterback, and the minute he got to college, he recognized what a Big Mac was for the first time, and all of a sudden that was great. Then he started drinking. I think he did drugs. I think he spent a little time in the pen. That didn't go well at the end of the day, and he
Right.
didn't live life.
Yep. So, anyways, I think we're in agreement here. I'd be curious what everybody else says. I don't think we really have anybody interacting today. Unfortunately, we have Katie. That's it. She's excited about you guys going to state, but I don't know if she wants to chime in on this or anybody else on their thoughts. But just an interesting topic. It's a world that is, fortunately, I think this topic is going to be increasing more and more because as parents see this guy do it, they're going to think, well, why shouldn't I do this, or why shouldn't my kid do this? More and more of this with social media, unfortunately, and that's just
Well,
I
and
think it's
it's
kind of unfortunate.
at a smaller scale. It's everywhere, right? We no longer give our kid a glove when they're 10, and that's his glove for the next 5 years. We buy gloves every year. We buy the new bat. We buy the cleats. I mean, we've talked about. I've researched cleats, and I spent the money just trying to. I look at it from injury point of view, but
Yep.
it is. We're all in it. We pay. I'm not gonna say absorbent amount of money for club, but we pay money for club, and then we add on travel, and we use that to our advantage. But I feel that we're doing it in a way that is guided. I mean, we're not coaching. We're not. I mean, I give my daughter probably a little coaching before the game, and then she doesn't do any of it, which is for the better. But we look at it like the trip to St. Louis next week is also for me and my wife to go down and hang out with friends that we've met. So, but to go this far, I don't think I could ever pull that trigger. I don't think I'd ever.
Yeah.
If my daughter was 17, 18, and she said, "Hey, Dad, let's give this thing a roll," I'd be like, well, "Let's do it." At least you're old enough to make your decisions and take on your life. But yeah, and there's a lot of this. There's too much of it, I think, because it's social
Yeah.
media.
Well, and I think people see the money and they think, man, this is an easy way to. I mean, it's not just sports. Dude, if you are on social media, there are parents who exploit their kids for clicks a lot, and some are just really good at it.
You know how hard it is to get a click in this? Like, we're not doing this for anything, right? Me and you like to get together on Wednesday night talk, and we put it out on a podcast that we've talked about doing for a while. But we have like 62 followers on YouTube. 62, right? We have 29 hours of material out there, and 62 people said, "What the hell?" And probably 15 of them did the soccer thing. So, like, I'm not willing to go out there and we're not traveling all over paying for boosts on Facebook and all this crap. So it is a grind. I don't even know how you
Yeah.
would start. I'm sure there's classes and different things you can write. We talked about it, hashtags and things to get your word out.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, I mean, it takes a lot of effort. And so he's been building baby Gronk now for years.
Right.
Like you said,
Yeah.
when the kid was born. I mean, he started the grind of doing that. So man,
Yeah.
it's an interesting world.
It is. So the last thing I'll say on this, if you're on Twitter, one of the people that responded to this post, not to us, but to the post in general, is an account called 3-Year Letterman. Have you followed this account before?
No.
Okay. If you have not followed this account, just be aware. Don't fall into the trap of thinking this guy is legitimate. He's actually kind of like what you would call a troll, right? He says bombastic things to try to get people to react, and he actually chimed in on this football all the time in his posts. But one of the things he said, in a world full of terrible parents who are utter clowns and tell their children that sports are for fun, he's like, it's refreshing to see that kid's father truly gets it. As a youth football coaching legend, I require my players to spend 2.5 hours a day lifting weights. Because
That's awesome.
He talks all the time about being a youth football coach with like 8-year-olds and like how he trains them to be like just the meanest, craziest guys. So he like loved this story. But if you do want to get a good laugh out of a follow, 3-Year Letterman is a major troll, and you might enjoy him. So he's caught a lot of people thinking he was serious, and
I can imagine. I can
That's pretty
imagine.
funny. So, anyways,
yeah, and Andy, Mr. Vanderbilt, East the Pier guy. We've talked about this, but he's every sport is all year, so there is no. You don't drive around. We did the Bayport lacrosse banquet tonight. I love banquets. A little chicken. Pizza wasn't so great, but I was talking to one of the other dads whose daughter plays club volleyball, club lacrosse, high school volleyball, and high school lacrosse, and they're every weekend they're gone for one of the two. I mean, we get July off.
Yeah. We get it. I mean, we all do. Paul gets it. I'm sure anybody that's got kids in the club world gets that this is kind of the way it goes. I don't think any of us have taken it to that level though, where we're trying to create a prodigy.
No. I think we give our kids the ability to get better and to train and to work hard, but at never no time do I know anybody that's like trying to just completely ruin a child and make money off them.
I do threaten my daughter with no bet if she doesn't score, but other than that.
Yeah, but that's totally different. That's scoring. Like we need to score, right?
Right.
If you don't score, you don't win.
Right. So winners get bets. So
Dad's a winner.
That's not true. Child Protective Services. I don't make my daughter sleep on the floor.
The back seat is a bed of the car. It's a bed. Just add a pillow.
Right. But it's been a running joke. So, anyways, yeah, no, that's crazy, man. It's a crazy world we live in, but it just shows like people are willing to do all kinds of ridiculous things to get clicks. And if you've ever been on social media, you'll see. I mean, just look around at some of these things that people do. Youth sports is not any different than that. So.
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. So, but one of the things is if anybody out there comes across an article that they want us to talk about, send it over. We'd love to have interaction and talk about anything to do with sports, because that's kind of the fun. We've talked about, we've kind of freelanced some things over some episodes, and our best thing is to have a topic and then discuss it. I think this is a great topic because I think everybody has an opinion, whether it's right or wrong.
It's right if it agrees with us, but then.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but that's what I was getting at. That right. Yes, we are correct, and because it's called judging bouncing balls, which is us.
Right.
So yeah, but please like and follow.
Yeah. Exactly. Give us the clicks.
Dude, we want 64 people. That's it. 64. Like what the?
Oh, is it up to 64 now?
I think it's 62.
Oh, okay.
What's our next milestone? Because remember we had to fight to get to 50, and then we blew past that with like 52.
I think there's something with like 1,000 hours watched or something like that. There's another thing that we can do.
This is taking forever.
It's a little ways away. We need to say something extraordinarily controversial. I'm talking next level, but not that we get banned on YouTube, but way up there. And then
I'll do it.
Yeah, I bet
you can't. You're a teacher. You
Right.
teach the youth. I
I'll just act very horrified.
right. Oh, he did what? Hashtag he said what?
Exactly. So if you guys can figure
All
out what
right.
that topic is, we'll have
Right.
Toby talk about it.
Right. But don't send it backdoor. Put it on the interweb so we all know where it came from.
Exactly.
If we're going to hell. We're going to hell fast. I'm driving.
Right. So this is what it takes. So, anyways, we got to find something that really captivates the mind, and doesn't involve us taking our clothes off.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. You don't want that, folks. Nope.
You know, nobody wants to see that. My wife doesn't even want to see it.
Right? Ah. But I wonder if Baby
Anyways, so
Gronk. What if we promote our show as like big up and comer and get Baby Gronk on?
see, but here's the deal, and this is one of the reasons I almost hesitate to bring this topic up. I almost don't want to give oxygen to this kid because it's like you're just doing exactly what the dad wants, and this is what he wants. He wants you to come up with something very kind of controversial, but also kind of intriguing, and then people want to talk about it, right? And then he slides it into DMs with people like, "Hey, have me on your podcast. I've got this kid that's like way different than everybody," right? And it creates this flywheel that gets people to talk about it. Like, can you believe this guy's doing it? Next thing you know, you're talking about it. Next thing it's trending. Next thing you know, other people are talking about it. This is what he's trying to do, right? He wants people to be kind of flabbergasted that this is happening. So, that's where I almost like it, you almost hate to even talk about it. He wants you to talk about it.
Okay, all right. But what if we get Olivia Dunn or the Page Girl? They don't seem to want to be talked about
Right.
per se. I bet you our
So,
podcast will blow up.
so right now though, we're what nobody's talking about. So right, if we want to
So we need to. You're right. We need to shock and awe.
shock and awe, baby.
Olivia Dunn with shock and awe.
Yeah, I don't. Just gonna go out on a limb and don't think she's gonna answer your DMs.
She hasn't answered them yet.
Just a hunch.
She's so mean. No, actually,
I,
she's not. She's not on my radar. Getting on the old podcast.
well, you're on the TikToks. I am not. So you can get into those big influencers. Maybe you could the best TikTok guy or gal or
We
human.
need to be on the TikTok with this podcast. So I'm gonna work with my daughter on how to cut funnies and put them on the TikTok, and that's how you get. That's how you blow it up.
We got to start saying some crazy stuff then. I don't know though. Sometimes there's normal people on TikTok.
There's a couple, and that's who we're looking for. The normal 40 to 50-year-old male that doesn't know how to buy anything or spend any money. He's our guy.
Right. I will say there was one account that almost got me to join TikTok. I was this close. It was some lady that literally makes fun of her chickens while she. It sounds stupid, but we have chickens, and she makes fun of her chickens. Like she would open it up, and it almost made me sign up for TikTok following her. It was really good.
How many chickens do you have?
19.
Because there is a TikTok where people are pretending to go to war, and they're like, "You don't want any of this smoke," and then they take the camera and they show over their shoulder, and all their chickens are following them. And there's this one guy that's got like 6,000 chickens, and he's like, "Bring it on!" And it is an amazing video. Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. And then one guy comes running through the forest. All his chickens are following him. He's like, "Let's go!" It's quite entertaining.
Okay. I would watch that. But yeah, this lady like gave her chickens all kinds of ridiculous names. Like, what were some of the names? I'm trying to remember. I'd have to think of them, but they all had like some chicken orientation to them, like Attila the hen. Just like hilarious. I don't know. To me, it was funny, and she would like just yell at it, like make fun of them, like they were. She'd call them all kinds of names. Made me laugh. So, anyways, That almost
It's
made me get
amazing how
teary-eyed.
we talk about the badness of the internet, but then the simple things make me giggle, right? And that's what I
Yeah,
like.
yeah, we're human.
I'm a big
So anyway,
inspirational guy. I like watching inspirational stuff. Doesn't
me
inspire
too.
me, but I feel it could.
Do you think we should start to be inspirational for like youth sports, like give pep talks, and then we could like clip those and share those out?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel, but my problem is all my pep talks are derived from somebody else. Like a lot of times when I'm
Sure.
talking to my daughter before a big game, I end up going Herb Brooks' 1980 Olympics speech. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't make much sense. Or Jimmy Valvano when he's speaking to what is his first job, Army or something, the God Country and the
Yep.
Green Bay Packers. Like I'm so entangled with great speeches that I don't know if I could come up with one on my own.
Oh yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like a David Goggins where we end everything with "Stay hard."
Yeah, no, David Goggins is a little more
He's a
intense
little
than me.
intense. He's a little intense.
I barely run to
Yeah,
the
I know.
fridge, and he ran for like 200 hours. I mean, like, there's a difference between me and him.
Yeah, he's a little intense. I've read his book, but yeah, we could come up with some. Maybe we could like spitball some really inspirational things, and we could give a little message. I also thought the other thing we could add to the show would be a um, unpopular opinion. We could each have an unpopular opinion each week. That'd be kind of fun.
I like that.
Because that could get people a little bit, especially if we share something that is controversial, might get a few people talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
unpopular
will.
opinion. I'm not a huge fan of dogs. See,
What?
we could get this really going. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't mind them, but I could not have them and be okay with my life.
Unpopular opinion. I don't like babies. I hate them. Flat out. Didn't like my own. Just struggled the whole time. I didn't like holding them. They cried. I didn't like I brought my daughter to the grocery store. First time ever to shop, go put her in the cart. We were buying stuff for my wife. My daughter made a sound like a beep, and I am like, we're out. I left the cart. I took my kid, and I'm like, she's gonna start crying, and I'm not gonna be a part of this. Don't like babies. I don't like your baby. I don't like my baby. I don't like babies. Yep.
It's like that
So
that Seinfeld episode with the ugly baby.
right, right.
That's a great one,
Because
by the way.
everybody lies about babies that they're so cute, and I'm like, nope,
Well,
no.
my wife and I actually have this argument. I will generally agree that most babies are cute. However, there are ugly babies. I have seen them, at least two in my life, that you're like, whoa, that's an ugly baby. I won't say who they were, but I'm telling you, I've seen a couple in my life where you're like, whew. Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, and you could see your face, right? Because you're like, wow, that's really cute.
Uh,
So if you have it on your popular opinion out there, please share it. That's the beauty of
yeah,
this show. We don't judge. We're going to judge, but we're
we're
going to
gonna
tell you we're
judge.
not going to judge. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love judging.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially when I'm on top. Feel like I'm on top, even though I'm not on top. But as a podcaster, there's not a lot of us out there. I feel
It's
we've
true.
earned the right to judge.
Agreed. So yeah, I think every
So
week we should come with an unpopular opinion. That's for sure.
I wanted to tell you. So a good friend of mine that I graduated college with sent me an article on that you can write in people that are doing great things with their diplomas from UW Milwaukee. So we're gonna write each other in like how much great things we'd like just lie, right? Just and see maybe next year if we could get the commencement speech together. Like
I don't know if that's a
just
good idea.
oh, I would give a great speech. Oh, it would be glorious. Again, I would
That's
copy a
true.
lot of people, but
Right. And to be fair, what do they say? There's no such thing as bad publicity. So
I could wear a
go
Scoops
for it.
hat, blue barn.
Let's do it. I
Then
like
I'm
it.
trying to figure out. There's some question if I really graduated. I'm going to be honest because it just the diploma didn't read right, but that's okay.
Well, to be fair, you did have some moms like do homework for you.
I did. I did. None of them called after either. I thought that was weird.
Uh-huh. I think your wife really likes the idea of you doing a commencement
Right?
speech.
So
Big
I
fan.
told my wife a couple years ago that I was going to go back and get my master's because I feel this canoodle, it's got room, but I am going to get a dorm room. I am all in with the freshmen. Like maybe not the freshman, maybe I should probably go junior. Uh, but I want a dorm. I want a meal plan. I want house parties. Like it's going to be an amazing time.
Didn't it? Didn't they make a movie about this, like Old School or
I
something?
don't think so, but they should. But I'm not a frat guy. I'm not into fraternities.
Okay.
That brotherhood escaped me.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I
I think I'd
I
have
think you
fun.
should do it.
Right?
Is Jackie in support of this?
Yeah, me leaving the house for an extended period of time. Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Big fan.
Hands down. Hands down. In fact, I can hear her getting the suitcase out as we speak.
That's what that noise was. Okay.
Right?
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
But I've been to enough universities in my day that I feel I could really nail a speech.
I think you probably could, especially if you wrote it out. You could do it.
I think I do better from my heart. Like the one time at my buddy's wedding that I sang "Patience" from Guns N' Roses. Hello, that was hot.
Any video of that?
Oh God, I hope no. But I even
Dang.
broke out the whistle.
See, here's the problem, Toby. You've done all these things, but there's no video of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was able to do it. Because there's a lot of
Oh,
stories that I've done with some friends that are there was no phones, right? I didn't get a cell phone until '97.
wow, 97? You were like 4 years ahead of me.
Well, me and Zach Morris, or Zach, is it Zach from Saved by the Bell?
Yes.
So
Hmm.
there was no video, there was no phones. You had to dial a phone number, right? I mean, you had to call across, a college house. We had a list of all of our buddies' houses.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Do you know how many phone numbers I had memorized before the cell phone? I probably had 50 phone numbers memorized.
Yeah.
Like you could just dial up somebody, and anybody our age probably had the same thing, right? You knew so many phone numbers, and I remember people would ask, and they'd be like, "Wow, you know a lot of people's phone numbers," but that's like what you had to do, right? We didn't have this. Now I couldn't tell you the only phone number I can remember. I know is my wife's, and that's because it's one digit off of mine. That's the only reason I know it. I don't. You look it up. Like I don't know anybody's phone number. It just shows like those smartphones have made us so dumb, so
Yeah,
dumb.
I'm right because we have 4 or 5 numbers in my family that are all because our work has our account, and you're right, they're all the same first 3 numbers, and then they kind of vary. But if I had to call my daughter blindly, either one of them wouldn't happen.
I don't know. I don't know my
I don't even know
son's
what
phone
the
number.
first. Yeah, it's because they're not close to mine.
Right. I just look
Like
up
a
his name
like
and
a
hit call.
right. There's a niner, maybe not. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. That is,
Yeah. We're all
and
kind of morons
now
now.
even my garage door, I got a new garage door for one of my for one of the 2 garage doors, and one of them, and it has an app. It's the greatest thing in the world. So when the girls get home, if Macy's there, I open the garage door with my phone. We have one house key. We have one house key left, and it is at
Ouch.
our neighbor's. Our neighbor 2 down has our house key, and she is like, "I will never lose this." And we're like, "Thank God," because we have 0 house keys left. So here's a great story. So we were at our neighbor's, and we came home, and this was back when Allie must have been 5, and maybe Macy was 2 or 3. And we got in the house, and we went upstairs, and we were putting Macy to bed, or Allie to bed, and then we were going to put Macy in her crib. And I had turned the doors around to lock them, and just so they would stay in their rooms. I think that's probably child abuse.
Probably.
And I remember Macy came in the room, and she closed the door. The bathroom door was closed and locked. She closed the door behind her, and we were locked in the bedroom. And then Macy, it's gonna sound, but totally muds down, right? We're like, oh, totally filled her diaper. We're like, oh, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. So we're sitting there, and the window is like this wide. Like there's like, and plus you're on the second story. Like I'm not gonna fall out a window. Yeah, I ended up having to take the door off with something I found in my daughter's, like a toy. And I had to hit the pins out, and the door came out. Because it was
You're like
Sunday night. Yeah. Let's be honest. But it was 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, and our garage doors were closed. All the lights were off, and there was nobody in their backyards. So we are in trouble. No phone. Zero. We were in so much trouble. But as a MacGyver and a fixer, I take care of her. I took care of my family. I had to do what I had to do.
It's what dads do.
But when I opened that door, I ran out of there so fast because I'm like, I left everybody behind. I'm like, save yourselves.
It's like Michael on the fire drill. Just runs out of the building.
Right.
Hey, your wife is asking why you opened the M&Ms on the counter because they weren't.
I didn't open them.
Apparently you did.
Apparently, yeah, they were open, and I had a couple. But they're caramel cold brew? What the? Who buys
M&Ms?
this stuff? Why are we buying M&Ms? That's the better question, Jeremy.
No, why are you buying like specialty custom M&Ms?
Yeah.
Just get the real ones.
Take that finger and turn it around, lady.
Anyways, you're in trouble, it sounds like.
I am not going upstairs.
Packed, and you're in trouble.
We call that a Wednesday around here, Jeremy. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
Not for you, Toby. So.
In capital letters.
In capital letters. She yelled it at you.
Ooh. Pissed off. I wonder what her what are we going for? Comment. We just came up with it. Unrecognizable.
Oh, her unpopular opinion.
Well, I wonder what her unpopular opinion is. And it can't be about me.
I bet she's got a lot of unpopular opinions, but we'll have to have her share some. That'd be good. We could talk about this.
Yeah, I think she should.
Yeah, she can come up with a couple for next week's show.
She's got time now. She's on summer.
I think we're rambling now, so we probably should end this.
Yeah. But I do want to wish the Bayport Pirates 11 o'clock on Friday. Everybody put their pirate hat on and root on the Pirates. You don't have to like us, but at least you got to respect us.
That's right. Go Pirates. I'm in your corner here. Go Pirates.
I appreciate that. that. I'll let the girls know.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Well,
we'll see you Sunday night.
Yes, if they win state, what can we expect to see you in costume on Wednesday?
With the fire truck coming home from state, you'll see me in a costume.
Okay, perfect. Now, would it be possible, just throwing out spitballing here, could you show up? Is there a mascot, like a costume mascot for the Bayport Pirate? What's his name?
I don't think I don't think we have Petey the Pirate.
I think you should. This is something you need, and you need to be in it.
I do. I got a great story about a UW mascot in college, but we'll save that for another day.
Okay. So I would like to see you in a pirate costume. I think
Okay.
that's what we need.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting on that fire truck. I love fire trucks, and I've never got my ride. I was never good enough. So my teams were not my fault. I mean, come on. But I'm getting on that fire truck.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see pictures.
Oh, hey, good luck to your daughter. Headed to St. Louis this weekend. Also, ODP, Olympic Development Program, folks.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is. It's the greatest scam name in the history of scam names. But good luck to her.
Yes.
Playing for Team Wisconsin against other Midwest teams, and hopefully she gets the nod to move to the next level. So, and Katie,
Yeah, it'd be fun.
out there.
Yes, thank you. So hopefully, yeah, safe travels to everybody. Good luck, Bayport. Go win a title. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. So
Perfect. All right, everybody.
good night. We'll
Have a good
talk
night,
to you
Toby.
soon. All right, you too.
See you, Tobes.